found a brand new shorts niche that's quietly pulling in millions of views using a genius strategy. Started just 2 months ago, this channel already hit 180 million views in a single month. And it's not the only one. New channels are blowing up in this niche right now. As someone who's made thousands of dollars with YouTube Shorts, I can tell you this is a perfect opportunity to go viral if you use the right strategy. So today I'll show you how easy it is to create videos like these using AI, and I'll also break down the exact strategy I would use to start a brand new channel in this niche, make it blow up and start making money with YouTube Shorts. When I first saw this niche, I was really surprised. The animations were weird, the scripts felt very robotic, like everyone could feel that it was done with AI, but surprisingly, that still brought millions of views. How? Well, first of all, the unique branding of a skeleton covered in glass makes the channel instantly memorable. It stops people from scrolling and helps it stand out among all the other commentary style shorts. However, this is just the tip of the iceberg. The clever hook and actual content is what makes it go viral. The channel targets a broad audience by picking relatable ideas, one of which is stop wearing caps every day. This video got 13 million views in 8 days, and the clever hook helped to achieve this number. Because as the voiceover says, the hook line, clips show the bad consequences of wearing a cap every day. And if people wear caps, that makes them fear and wonder if you can really get bald and why you can exactly get bald. But even if you don't wear caps, you still want to see the progression, the day-by-day transformation of what can happen from the simple, everyday and harmless looking action. Combine that with mysterious, suspenseful music and it makes it even more serious and engaging, making it impossible to skip. But the best part is that once you find a working pattern like this, you just need to replicate it with different ideas. What braces actually do, what if you never stop laughing, what if you never cut your hair, are just a few examples that brought millions of views with the same format. But how do you actually come up with viral ideas like these so consistently? Well, if you're completely stuck, your head is empty and you can't think of ideas on your own, that's completely normal and happens to all of us. So using ChatGPT to generate ideas isn't a bad solution at all, but you have to train ChatGPT to give you solid ideas by feeding it your competitors' viral videos and asking it to come up with new ideas using the same format and structure. I did the same for the short that I'm about to create in this video and got a really cool idea what would happen if you stopped blinking. But this isn't enough. You need a good script as well. And at this step, you can either spend 3 hours researching and writing it yourself, or you can use AI to do 80% of the boring work for you. Don't get me wrong, it won't replace you. You'll still need to review it and even rewrite parts of it yourself, but it gives you a strong starting point. So for this short, I'm using today's sponsor, TubeMagic. To get the best scripts possible, I gathered transcripts from my competitors and added YouTube links as context directly into TubeMagic so it could analyze them. After that, I simply entered my topic and selected how long I wanted the script to be. The range goes from 100 words all the way up to 3000 words, so you can easily match the length to your format. I chose 100 words because I didn't want the script to be longer than 1 minute. What's also great is that the engine is powered by Claude, which is known for producing very natural human-sounding writing. And here's the result I got. Yes, it wasn't perfect, I still had to tweak it a bit, like with any AI tool, but it saved me hours compared to writing everything from scratch. So if you'd like to try TubeMagic yourself, click the link in the description. But now comes the fun part. The script was the last thing I needed to start creating the animations, so leave me alone for a bit. I'm going to experiment and come back in a few hours.
2,000 years later.
Okay guys, I finally figured it out. When I started experimenting, my biggest question was, how do you create consistent characters that actually look real? When I looked at my competitors' shorts, the characters looked ultra realistic and always consistent, and I thought I will never be able to make these myself. But after giving some time and testing multiple tools, I got results that looked identical, if not better. And now I'll show you the exact step-by-step process that I did to make the animations and the actual video. First, I went to ChatGPT to generate one main image of my character. This image becomes the foundation, the reference I use for every future image. That's what keeps the character consistent across all clips and all videos. So I started by writing a long, detailed prompt to make sure I got a good result. And the third generation wasn't exactly what I wanted. So I added a photo reference for ChatGPT. And on the second attempt, I finally got the result I was looking for. With that image done, I now had my foundation. The next step was generating images based on the script. At first, I tried using a single prompt to automatically generate image prompts from the script, but I quickly realized that wouldn't work if the goal is to create viral videos. ChatGPT just isn't creative enough on its own to come up with funny, dramatic shots that spark engagement. And that's when it clicked. The creative part has to be done by you, because the videos should always be by humans for humans. Only we can understand the best what viewers might enjoy and what would feel like a garbage content. So instead of relying on automation, I started writing prompts for each individual shot, describing the idea and exactly how I wanted it to look. This way I had control over the creativity part, but AI did the boring work to make the prompt look clean and understandable. Within a few minutes I had all the image prompts ready. Next, I needed a good image and video generator. My first thought was to use Kling AI, but after testing it, the results didn't look the way I wanted. The generations weren't very realistic, they felt more cartoonish. So at that point, I had to take a step back, because I still couldn't figure out how those clips were being made so realistic. But then I found OpenArt, and one thing I liked immediately was that it lets you choose different models. So I selected Nano Banana Pro and used the exact same prompt I had used in Kling AI just to compare the results. And when the generation finished, I was honestly amazed. It was a night and day difference. So I continued using OpenArt to generate the rest of the images, always applying a reference image to keep the character consistent. Once I had all the images, it was time to turn them into videos. I stayed inside OpenArt and switched to the VO3 model. From there, I experimented with different start frame and end frame images to get the exact motion I wanted. For example, in one clip where the camera zooms into the skeleton's eye, I used a wide shot of the skeleton as the starting frame and a close-up of the eye as the end frame. Then I described the motion again in the prompt. After generating all the clips, I dropped everything into my editing software, added sound effects, text, a strong hook at the start, and dramatic music, and this is how the final video turned out.
What would actually happen to your body if you stop blinking? Minute 1, the moisture on your eyeball starts evaporating immediately. That slick protective layer, it's thinning out in real time. Minute 10, your tear film starts breaking up. Dry patches form like cracked paint. Your vision gets slightly hazy. Minute 30, the burning sensation increases quickly. Your eyes turn red. Every speck of dust feels like a shard of glass. Hour 1, your corneas are drying out. Micro scratches start forming every time you move your eyes. Light turns hostile. Screens look like headlights through fog. Hour 2, welcome to the blur zone. Your eyes start watering, but it doesn't save you. Those tears spill out like an emergency leak. Hour 8, your vision doubles and smears. Your brain can't stabilize the image without blinking. You get a headache, feel nauseous. Hour 10, the damage isn't tiny anymore. You're entering infection territory, because once that surface breaks down, bacteria don't knock. They move in. Hour 24, congratulations, you're a vegetable. Your brain forces a shutdown. Involuntary blinking, tearing, eyelid closure, anything to protect the eye.
Could it be better? I think yes. The voiceover could be a bit more energetic, or maybe the main character could be a little bit different from the main competitor to stand out more. But this is exactly what's driving millions of views right now. And if you're going to create these, to increase your chances of success even more, you can blend niches. Just like the creator Skelpets did. He started with the same format but added a twist. Instead of generic content, he focused on animal facts. That way he targeted a different audience and didn't have to compete directly with already established channels in the same niche. If this was valuable and you want to learn more about YouTube, how to make viral videos and make money from it, you can click the link in the description to join my private community YouTube Vault. That's where I share all my strategies, my channels that I don't share publicly, and new niches. In fact, this niche was first shared inside my school community, and you're only seeing it now because it takes time to create these videos. In those weeks, you could have already built a monetized channel with my help through the weekly calls I run there. But you don't have to join. In fact, I would even recommend to first try it out yourself, because maybe it might work out, who knows. But if you want to shortcut the process, or if you have any doubts or questions that you want to ask me directly, the option is there.
Alright, so I'm currently at my dashboard on smmshiba.com, and do not get confused by the website names. SMM and SMM Dodge are actually the same website. So all you have to do once you've created yourself an account here is to go on list, click on this category icon, select, and here you want to select something, basically any option that says from with video. So I'm going to choose this one right here, and this should be already fine. 2014, 2017, yeah. Now I'm going to click on buy, confirm. And now you can go onto your product orders and you will see this is pending. All right, the order is now completed. This didn't even take 2 minutes. What you want to do now is you want to copy that ID, and we want to be organized, right? Especially if we have multiple channels, you will not find them again. So make sure to save it somewhere.